The Lunchtime News.
BBC Radio Solent.
Also on the way this afternoon, Market of the Month does its bit for Anglo-French relations. You're also going to meet the Christchurch author who's showing the other side of the cold calling story. And another round of Panto Bingo is coming your way. Now then, if cold calls get right up your nose, have you ever thought about what it's like to be on the other end of the line? Coming up in a few minutes' time, you're going to meet the local author of Lucy Works in Telesales.
BBC Radio Solent.
Loving life in the South.
When it comes to pet peeves, one thing that's often quite high on people's lists is telesales calls. But the man you're about to meet knows what it's like to be on the other end of the line. Simon Bell from Christchurch, welcome along.
Hi, Katie.
Lovely to meet you this afternoon.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, tell me a little bit about Lucy Works in Telesales.
Lucy Works in Telesales is a metaphor for my idea that telephone sales can be a really good thing to do. Now, I know that most people hate it and think of it in a bad way, but actually, having worked in it for 23 years and enjoyed it, I know many people I speak to thank me for making great sales calls. It can be a great profession. And Lucy, working in telesales as a young lady, got her degree, realising it's hard to get a job. She's finding out through the book that it is a good thing to do because she can help people who receive these calls enjoy them too.
The thing about call centres is that, as you say, it's an opportunity, if you are a graduate or maybe you've come out of college at 18, to get your foot in the door of a big company. That is an opportunity, isn't it?
It's more than an opportunity, because telephone sales is the essence, it's the coal face of business. Most of my work is with businessmen and companies who want to sell better, because no company's worth anything unless they're serving their customers. So to learn to serve a customer through a telephone sales call is the most powerful thing you can do in business. So don't think of it as a stepping stone. Think of it as the beginning of your career and just use it as a lateral movement into whatever specific industry you want to be in.
So the book that you've written, is it self-help or is it a novel?
It's 90% a novel. But it is self-help. It's full of all the lessons of what you need to do to make a great sales call.
One of the lessons that I have read in the book is that customers don't buy products and services, they buy an emotional reward. What does that mean?
Well, if you think about anything you've bought over the years, over your lifetime, you will have bought it for an emotional reason. You buy your car for either safety, you feel safe, or you race around and say, men, you can pull girls in it. Anything. We buy it for emotional reasons, not a factual reason.
And would you say that that certain people are more open to buying with their emotions than others? Because with a cold call, it's very difficult to know what kind of day the person is having at the other end of the phone, isn't it? And do you think that might be one of the reasons why when people answer the phone, I'm like, oh my God, it's telesales?
Certainly there are certain types of people who are more willing to buy on facts. For example, I work rarely in IT because it's very fact-driven. I prefer the emotional sales, which are pretty much anything else but IT. But it's the sound that represents the emotion that's within us. This is proven by the fact that Charles Darwin invented or recognised the theory of prosody, and he noticed that animals have 4 key emotions: anger, sadness, surprise, and goodness, I've forgotten the 4th one. But
forgetfulness.
The extreme examples are, right, if I talk to you like this, you can pretty much tell I'm angry.
Yeah.
Or if I can talk to you like this, I'm sad. And these 4 emotions are now identified by 18 core human emotions that have 18 identifying sounds. And so if you hear the right sound during a telephone call, you will enjoy it, and therefore you are more likely to buy. But if you want to buy, that's okay, buy. But if you can enjoy the buying process, isn't that a bonus?
Even better. Everyone loves spending a bit of money as well. I don't know. If you go to one of the big shopping centres, certainly this afternoon, I popped out earlier on into the city centre and it's absolutely heaving with shoppers willing to spend their money and looking quite happy about it as well. Tell me then about writing the book, Simon, because there you are, 23 years into a career in telesales. Did you just wake up with it one day?
It wasn't an ambition of mine to write a book. I was quite happy talking about it and doing it. But lots of my colleagues were saying, Simon, you've got to write a book. And I tried, and I started several times, but it just sounded like me telling everyone else how to do it better, and I couldn't. I gave up. I can't be I am better than Yao attitude doesn't suit me at all. And then somebody once said that they were writing a book about selling, but it was based on a metaphor. And I thought, metaphor, that's it. So I can tell the story indirectly. And Lucy Works in Telesales is the book I've written, out on the 20th of December. That's a fantastic story about a young girl who is only happy when those around her are happy too. And that is essentially what any good telephone salesperson is all about.
So you live in Christchurch, you're from Christchurch. Do you work here in the south as well?
Most of my work's regional, so Dorset's my big thing, Hampshire too, occasionally Manchester, Nottingham and London, but mostly local. I'm a local guy.
No, you have a lovely accent that's actually quite difficult to place anywhere. Do you find that that's been quite helpful? Because often you read in the papers, you know, the top 10 accents that we love to hear: Scottish, Newcastle, that kind of thing.
I have generated this range of accents because somebody once said, "Oh, you're good because you've got the right voice," and I took a lot of thinking about that. Do I have the right voice? But I've realised I've got many voices in me. If I talk to a customer who wants to talk slowly and quietly, I'll talk slowly and quietly. If I talk to them like this, it's going to frighten the skin off them. So you've got to be adapted to your customer. And so if a customer, as in us receiving a phone call, a sales call, isn't enjoying it, just tell the telephone seller you're not enjoying the way they're talking to them. Make them think about the fact that they are not mirroring you, the customer's behaviour. That's not right, and it's easy to fix, and that's what Lucy Works in Telesales is all about, fixing this problem.
So the 20th of Jan is when the books hit the bookshelves, that's right?
20th of December.
Oh, beg your pardon, sorry, 20th of December, this month, they're not long to go. Is it exciting, your debut novel? Are you going to see your name in print?
I hardly dare think about it. Everyone I talk to, whether they run a company and want it to be more efficient, or a young person looking for a career, or people who make their own telephone sales calls, or a customer who receives them and hates them, they want a part of this action, because this is almost like an unknown philosophy that I've sort of stumbled into just by doing it for so long, so often.
Well, it's really nice to meet you, and I wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome indeed. No doubt, maybe sipping on something spirited on the evening of the 20th to toast your first day as a published novelist. Do you think there's more novels in you? Have you opened up a door?
I think there's a series of them. I think I'd like to be invited by other industries like recruitment and customer services to write Lucy Works in their industry too.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to meet you. Thank you very much. Just before you go, Simon, do you have a favourite Only Fools moment?
I do, and I've been listening to the others. Fantastic. But can't quite remember the circumstances, but they're in this tiny, insubstantial boat in the middle of the English Channel, lost. And they come across, out of the mist, the oil rig, and absolute cheek of the East End barrow boy. But excuse me, mate, which way to Calais, I think? And he tells them, and to me that's unbelievable use of communication skills.
Absolutely. I think, doesn't he turn around, Dell, and say to Rodney, "See, Rodney, if you don't know, just ask."
That's right, and asking is a very powerful tool.
Absolutely genius. Simon, great to see you.
Thank you, Katie.
What's happening in the South?
BBC Radio Solent.